So while this video says average value, it's actually part 2. We started with the mean value theorem for integrals. This one says if f is integrable on the closed interval from a to b, now all that's required for something to be integral is that it's continuous. But then the average value of f on the interval is, and we have 1 over b minus a times the integral from a to b of f of x dx. Well, just really quick, what the mean value theorem said was that if f is continuous on the closed interval from a to b, then there exists a number c in the closed interval such that the integral from a to b of f of x dx, that's the area, equals f of c, this would be a height, times b minus a. And if you compare these two, the only difference here is that this b minus a has been divided, so it's over here as a 1 over b minus a, or you could have taken this b minus a and written it in the denominator. But what that's saying is that this is actually equal to the f of c from the mean value theorem. So when you see average value, this f of c represents the height. This is the base, this is the area of the rectangle. So this average value, this is the average height of the function you're integrating. So basically what this is saying is you're adding up all of the heights and then you're dividing by the width of that integral, and it's giving you the average height. If you look at units, let's say that f of x was in meters per second, something like that. Let's say it's like a velocity. You're doing a meters per second. Your dx would be in seconds, but over here your a and your b are seconds. So your seconds cancel out there, but you're left with meters per second. So when you actually go through this process, the units of your f of x are the units of the whole thing. So you're finding the average, like if this was velocity, it would be the average velocity. If this was acceleration, it'd be the average acceleration. So if you ever see the word average and it doesn't say average rate of change, which is normal slope, then you are finding an average value. Now there is a relationship between the average value and the average rate of change, and you'll examine that in your assignment. Okay, so an example. Find the value of c that gives you the average value of f of x equals 3x squared minus 2x on the interval from 1 to 4. So to find the average value, I'm finding the average height. So I'm going to do the integral from 1 to 4 of my function. So I'm going to add up the function values from 1 to 4. And I'm going to divide that by my width. Now you can write it out to the front, so 1 over 4 minus 1. Or I could have just divided the whole integral by a 4 minus 1 or a 3. So this will be, this 1 over 4 minus 1 is clearly 1/3. And then to do the rest of it, I'm going to take the antiderivative, so I'll raise the power, divide by my new power, and this is just an x cubed minus x squared from 1 to 4. So you can multiply the 1/3 in the end or keep it on each term. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to just keep the 1/3 on each term for right now. And this will be a 4 cubed minus 4 squared minus, and then I'll keep the 1/3 on, 1 cubed minus 1 squared. Now this is a 1 minus 1, so it's 0, so it cancels out all of this. And what I'm left with is a 4 cubed minus 4 squared over 3. So I know 4 squared is 16. Multiply that by 4, and I get a 64. So it's equal to 64 minus 16 over 3. And that is equal to a 48 over 3. And while I should be able to do that in my head, I think I know. But we've got 3, yep, and it is equal to 16. So this is the actual average value. It's not your final answer, but this is the average value or average height value or average height of the function. What it actually asked for is the value of c that gives you that average value. So this could be a calculator problem that's an easy solve, or it could be a non-calculator problem depending on the kind of equation you're having to solve. But what you would do next is to find the value of c, is we want to know really this, f of c equals 3c squared minus 2c, and we know that the height, the average value, is 16. So this is the equation you would be solving, and it could be done with quadratic formula with the calculator. If it could be factored, you would do it that way, but this is how you'll actually find your value of c.